With these triangles here, if we're trying to find the area, there's no obvious right angles in any of these, so we can't use the half base times height formula. So what we need to be then thinking about is using this formula here, which is given on the formula sheet, so you don't need to remember it. It's just a case of substituting values into formulas. So the first thing to do is label the sides big A, big B, big C. The sine C means that we should have that C attached to our angle. The A and B don't make any difference after that. Opposite to big A, little a, opposite to big B, little b, opposite to big C, little c, and it's just a case of swapping values into the formula. So area is equal to a half times A, which is 4, times B, which is 5, times sine of 80. Get our trusty calculator, turn it on, and we've got a half, so a half times 4 times 5 times sine 80. Close the bracket there, equals, again if we want 3 sig fig, the 4 is a third sig fig, the 8 after it rounds that to 5, so it's 9.85, and don't forget the units, throwing away a mark if you don't put those down, centimetres squared. So that's relatively straightforward, easy few marks there. This is slightly more difficult because we're told the area, we need to do some rearrangement to find out what x is. Same start, label the corner here as C because it matches in with the angle, the other two makes no difference, A, B, opposite big A, little a, opposite big B, little b, opposite big C, little c, subbing in what we know. Well, the area is 8, so 8 is equal to a half times A, which is 4, times B, which is x, times by sin 60. So we have to do a little bit of rearrangement here to get our x by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is double it to get rid of that 2. And there are lots of different ways to do this. We'll start like this. So 16 is 4 times x times sin 60. To get rid of that 4, we need to divide by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4, so 4 is equal to x sin 60. To get rid of the sin 60, divide by sin 60. And we end up with x, 4 over sin 60 is equal to x. Stick that in your calculator. So fraction 4 over sin 60, close brackets, press equals. We get 8 root 3 over 3. Now again, you could write that down, but if they want a decimal, press your SD button. Third sig fig is the 1, the 8 rounds up, so it's 4.62. So x is 4.62 centimetres. Now this last one is probably the most complicated example because we're trying to find an angle. Again, start the same way. Label the angle as C. The other two sides makes no difference. Opposite big A, little a. Opposite big B, little b. Opposite C, little c. Swap everything into the formula. So 1.2 is equal to a half times A, which is 2, times B, which is 3, times sin P. Nothing too bad there. To get rid of all of this, well, you could evaluate it if you wanted to, but to get rid of all of it, we divide by the half times 2 times 3, because that's how you get rid of it from that, times 2 times 3, and we end up with 1.2 over a half times 2 times 3 is sin P. And remembering back to how we get rid of that sin, we need to use the sin to the minus 1. So sin to the minus 1 of 1.2 over a half times 2 times 3 is equal to P. So swapping all that in. So shift sin fraction 1.2 on the top of the fraction. We do another, can we do that? Yeah, half there times 2 times 3. It's a bit ugly, but not to worry. Close that bracket there. Press our equals, and we get an answer of 23. Again, the 5 there is a third sig fig. The 7 rounds it up. So P is 23.6 degrees. Now, the problem with that isn't the only possible answer, I'm afraid. A bit of higher level maths here, but a sine curve looks a little bit like this. That's 180 degrees there, that's 360. My solution here at 23.6 is there. But if I travel across here, I get a second solution over there. And by the symmetry of the curve, my second answer is 180 minus the first. So we've got two possible answers. So 180 minus 23.6, and that gives us 156.4 degrees. So there are two possible answers for that. It will always be the second answer is 180, take away the first. Depends what the question's looking for. It might tell you that P is bigger than 90, so therefore you choose this one. There's nothing specified there, so I put both of the answers down.